I mean, my name is René. I'm co-chairing the PDF committee with Giles, who is also present. And we are more than happy, I guess, to guide you through the processes and also what does it mean and how, what are the possibilities and what is the framework really. So this session is really to discuss with you the professional development framework, but also let me just shortly introduce what it is and what does it mean for us as running the chair and also doing the accreditations. So the SEDA PDF provides recognition for higher education on basically two levels. We have the institutional accreditation. That means the institution needs to be ready to support educational development. And we try to ask the questions appropriately if the resources, for example, are there provided from the institution. And then we have the accreditation on the level of the program itself. And once the institution is accredited and once the program is accredited, the individuals who are participating in these workshops or in the modules, in the courses, will receive the certificate under the so-called named award. And just to recognize the diversity of educational development, SEDA provides a range of named awards. And let me just give you a short overview what this range would be. So these are all the named awards. You see very often, for example, a very popular award is supporting learning, of course, learning, teaching, and assessing, but enhancing research practice. So there is, I think what we really try to do with this named award is to represent all the areas of educational development and give the institution the choice on what would be the focus of their accreditation. So this is we can look what is the differences between these named awards later on, but this is the range of accreditation possibilities we provide. What is important for us, we consider ourselves, as you probably know, as a value-based organization, and values play an important role in the SEDA accreditation. So we have the same value for any of the accreditation and also for any of the awards. And we also do have the same core development outcomes. So that the only difference between each of the award would be the specialist outcomes. And when it comes to the values, it's really not to say what we believe or feel, but it's really to stipulate action, to be a guide for action, and also to help as practitioners in higher education. So these 5 values are developing understanding of how people learn, practicing in ways that are scholarly, professional, and ethical, working with and developing learning communities, valuing diversity and promoting inclusivity, and continue reflecting on practice to develop ourselves, others, and processes. And I did the accreditation myself, and sorry, just somebody came. And it's really, I think that was really helpful for us to try to translate these values into our own context. When I did the accreditation at the University of Basel, I'm coming from Switzerland, so you might hear an accent. I'm sorry for that. Do you want to add anything on that, Giles, so far?
I think I'd just say there's something that's fundamental. SEDA really is the organization for educational developers and educational development. And that's what comes through with the approach on the PDF. So there are a range of named awards, which is covering various forms of accreditation. And historically, this goes back quite some time. So the names and awards have been updated as things have changed. The original values and the frameworks were one of the things that went into informing the UK PSF in the UK when that started about 20 years ago. And some of those name awards are accredited. But what I got onto here with the values that's an important part. And you mentioned the institutional accreditation, just as part of the accreditation process. And accreditors and mentors are keen to see the support at an institutional level. And it's fundamentally about a way of working as well. So it also means that educational developers like yourselves aren't necessarily hung out to dry. By saying it's like, they're supported in a way. So I'm just going to get onto the other details, but the values, regardless of the named award, the values and some core outcomes are the same across things, because in effect, if you look through them, this is basically what educational developers try to do. They try to change in a system. So back over to you.
Yeah, I think that's important to change the system. And very often when it comes to the institutional accreditation, there is the possibility to involve, for example, the leadership, the chancellor, the vice chancellors into the discussion. And very often we are helping also people who are really kind of agents of change sometimes in the institution to get the process moving. And the recognition in itself, I think, helps very often also to recognize for the institution that educational development is important, and they need to provide the resources appropriately. So Charles has mentioned the core development outcomes. These are, once again, the same for each named award. And it's basically, I think the verbs are quite important here. Identify, plan, undertake, and review. So we identify the own professional development goals, direction, and priorities. We plan for initial or continuing professional development, and we undertake appropriate development activities, and then we reflect upon them. We review the process and the relations between them. So I think that's applicable for all of the awards.